damn it, it's Short Film Saturday. I have to say it or I'll forget. Indie Film Cafe. I'm Mukel, and I'm here with.
Jonathan A. Moody, your co-host.
That's right. And it's Short Film Saturday.
It is Short Film Saturday. You got it right, sir.
That's right. That's right. And if I keep drinking the Java, maybe I'll have enough energy to get through. Yeah, yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, yeah. And
So
we're
what
here.
what movie are we talking about here?
We're here to talk about David the Rock Nelson short film, which is a way of saying it's probably double what it should have been for a short film. Yeah, it's a 7-minute film, which is stretched out to just over 15 minutes because David the Rock Nelson can't stop himself from yapping. Can't do it. Just can't do it.
Mm-mm.
But it's actually a fun, interesting little video that he does.
Fun. It's
Yeah,
it's just
I thought
different
it
word
was
than
fun.
I'd use.
Well, if you like David the Rock Nelson, you might think it's fun. But I think it's fun because there are actual moments in this short film where you're like, actually, he's not doing too bad. He's doing is he's calling this David Rock Nelson as Dr. Frankenstein and Dracula in a parody of Dracula versus Frankenstein.
I thought it was a different person because there was different laughter. There was different people there. So I
Well, he's
think
got
there
a guy
was a
helping
different
him.
person
Yeah,
playing
there's a guy.
Dracula.
Yeah, no, he was playing both Dracula and
Oh.
yeah, and he was playing the monster too. But there is a guy who's also his cameraman who also comes in later on.
Oh,
Um,
okay, yeah.
But yeah, this scene, the first part of it is a scene that was taken from Al Adamson's Dracula versus Frankenstein, which happens to be one of David the Rock Nelson's favorite movies. So he's redoing it, but he's redoing it, you know, for like 10 cents in his basement. So that's why everything is dark and there's like, weird little masks and weird little plastic skeletons and weird little devil ants floating around because it's his basement, like just about everything else he does. But apart from the costume issues, of which there's a few makeup issues, there are times when he's actually in character, like in an actual character, and doing a pretty good job, and doing it twice because he's doing, Dr. Frankenstein and he's doing Dracula, and they're very different. And he's actually doing a pretty good job, and you have to sort of scrub around the fact that you can't see anything, and he's using little cutout paper things to be human beings on fire. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. But there's actually some kind of good stuff in there that it's just like, man, if the guy only had like I don't know, a couple $100, he probably could have pulled this off in some place
Mm-hmm.
other than his basement. So what did you think?
I I don't know. It's, at least he wasn't talking about his Java the whole time and like because we saw Miss Werewolf.
Yeah,
We
we'll
did
get to
that.
that.
We reviewed that. And the biggest problem with Miss Werewolf was it was like 3.5 hours or something. It was like
Two
ridiculous.
hours and 42
It
minutes.
felt like 3.5 hours,
Not like eight and a half.
yeah, it felt like 8.5 hours. It felt like he just kept going and there was no point to it and blah blah blah. This actually had a point, like this had a beginning, a middle, and an end, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Well, the end just continues because he does the scene and then he shows you the outtakes, which are very similar to the movie itself.
Well,
And
the
then,
outtakes are just like his stuff falling off and everybody
yeah,
laughing
yeah, yeah,
and shit. It was
which
just,
I'm sure happened constantly.
yeah.
But he shot it in his basement during September and October of 2022, and then he presented it at the Monster Bash conference on October 15th as part of his tribute. So you're going to see bits and pieces of that until the camera dies or they ran out of tape or something. And he's up there kind of yapping and doing his David the Rock Nelson thing and shadow boxing and doing all that kind of stuff because that's who he is. He's wound up on coffee and he has no idea when to stop the stream of consciousness. And that's just him.
He's just
But
gonna keep making his movies and
that
drinking his
aside,
Java.
this was almost better than Miss Werewolf as far as an actual film.
Well, I mean, it's a short film, like I mean,
Um,
and you said it pretty much just ripped off, one of Adamson's
Well,
movies. So,
paid homage too.
but you
You
didn't
know.
like take some of the dialogue or something from the movie.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But then, so it's a rip off. Homage is a
Mm.
nice term, I guess, but really, you just
It's not like
stole.
he's not like he's selling this and trying to present it as
Right?
his own thing. That's different. He's not. He's
No.
coming out and saying, "I like this scene from my favorite movie. I'm just going to shoot it and do it and do the characters."
Yeah. No, it's nice. It's a sweet little thing. It's just it's not his dialogue. It's not his scene, like he didn't
Yeah.
write any of
I mean,
this.
I did not do a word for word comparison, so I don't know how much of that. I imagine most of that is Al Adamson,
It
which, by the
felt
way,
very
it's
much like somebody
Al
else.
Adamson. It's not like he's ripping off Shakespeare here. Come on.
Well, it's not like he's also ripping off like Bram Stoker's Dracula or
Right,
anything like
right.
that. He's ripping off something independent still, right? I get it. And that's amazing. Like if you're gonna rip off anybody, not well,
Yeah,
if you're gonna pay
it's
homage to somebody, it should be independent.
it's kind of like if you and me got together with a camera and we just decided to shoot one of the scenes from Plan 9 from Outer Space, and we just did it, and the two of us, and then we went to a con and said, here's our little 15-minute movie where we do a scene, maybe a scene and a half from our favorite Ed Wood movie. And
Yeah.
that's all it really is. It's like a fan thing.
Yeah. No, totally.
But he does all the costumes. He's got these little fun little props, and he really gets into it. And you know, I guess having that structure was better for him because it made him. He had to memorize dialogue, and things had to make sense. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Whereas in Miss Werewolf, you really got the feeling that there was no script, and he was just kind of going off, the
Yeah, he was
deep end of
just
the
trying to
river.
make it up as he went along.
Right, right,
Uh,
right, right. So in
and
other words,
there was nobody coming up and talking to him, and then he stops and, breaks character and says, "Oh, I'm
he
just
was
filming
he
my
was
movie here.
he
You're in
was
my movie now."
focused. He was focused, and when he's focused, he's not that different than a lot of other indie filmmakers.
Hmm?
He shows flashes of talent and flashes of doing stuff
I
well.
mean, he's been doing it for so long, he better start being more talented, Like, I
Yeah,
mean, if you do it for so long, all of a sudden people gotta start, you have to start growing as some kind of
yeah.
artist.
Now,
Otherwise, like, what's the point?
obviously, his equipment is pretty subpar. He's got no lights. He's got barely anybody helping him. I don't know who he bribed to hold the camera for him, but he got somebody. But
They were laughing way too much, and it was fucking
yeah,
up the
and he
scenes.
wasn't he wasn't cutting any of that because he doesn't. Editing is still a problem with David the Rock Nelson.
Wonder if he still does it like tape to tape or something, like
Probably,
there.
probably. But you notice there was that part where he was also playing the Frankenstein monster, and the way he did it is, I guess he filmed that first, and then he put that enough of it on the monitor that he was able to hold up the fire next to the monitor, so it made it look like he was actually holding up the fire next to the character, which is not a bad little thing. I mean, it's kind of primitive, but it kind of worked.
It worked. I mean, it wasn't, trust me, it wasn't Miss Werewolf. It wasn't terrible. Like it wasn't that bad. It was, if they had kept it, like I had told you, if they had kept it at 7 minutes, kept it like that, said the end, it was done. Then I had another video that had all the outtakes and stuff. Like if you had a fun time with that, check out these outtakes on this. When you put it and make it at 15 minutes, I mean, you're asking a lot of random people to watch your stuff,
Right,
So
right, right. Well, I'm afraid that's par for the course for David the Rock Nelson. He
I
doesn't like
know,
silence. He doesn't like, emptiness in his stuff. He likes to fill everything up to the very, very beginning. Yeah, it's as much as he can with everything, and he records everything,
I know he
absolutely
does.
everything. And it's similar. He reminds me a little bit. He's probably a little bit more obsessive in that regard than, say, someone like Ray Dennis Steckler. Ray Dennis Steckler shot everything. Now he did it as an actual professional photographer, but the man had oodles and oodles and oodles of home tapes of stuff that he would just shoot and then used in his movies here or
You
there. I
didn't get
mean,
your hooves on any of that?
sorry.
You didn't get your hooves on any of those
No, God, I wish. I don't know
videos?
whatever happened to most of that after he died. I guess his family has it or something. I don't know. But
Maybe.
David the Rock Nelson does not waste anything.
Nope.
So he uses it all. And that's, it's got some good because it's got some entertainment value, but it's also got some bad because it also
Hmm.
drives people crazy.
Crazy. And I mean, the people that watch this stuff or whatever, they know what they're getting themselves into. Just like you know what you're getting yourself into. Just like why Jim won't watch any of this stuff with us anymore. She knows what
But
she's getting herself into.
I did want to show you something that was a little one or two steps up from Miss Werewolf so that you could see.
Yes, there you go. I'm excited. It was, 7 minutes long for the actual movie and then 15 total. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen of his,
There
and
you go.
probably won't be near the worst thing. So, you said Devil Ant is still worse than
Oh
Miss
God,
Werewolf, and that scares me.
Neverland is rough, man.
And Conrad Brooks versus the Werewolf just sounds a lot of fun too. So I
Oh
can't wait to
God,
see that
yes.
someday.
That's a short film. We'll do it next
Next
year.
season,
I was hoping to do it at a time. I've been saving it for when Johnny's around because he
Oh
loves killing
yeah,
kids.
we'll
So
definitely have to do that with Johnny.
I've been holding that nugget tight, just waiting for the right time.
But that's something you have to watch on together, right? You don't have a
Yeah,
copy of it or whatever. You can
unless
see.
we somehow get a copy of it. Yeah, unfortunately, that's one of those gold nuggets that you have to actually own.
Well, thank you, Paul. This was an interesting one. So it's called Dracula versus Frankenstein, I'm thinking is what the title was called.
Uh,
It had a long
yeah.
title and I think, but I think at the end it said Dracula versus
The official
Frankenstein.
title on YouTube is B movie maker David Rock Nelson as Dr. Frankenstein and Dracula in parody of Dracula versus Frankenstein.
I'm just gonna say parody of Dracula
There
versus
you go.
Frankenstein. It's a
You can find it on David the Rock Nelson's YouTube page. I think it's the latest video that he's updated. So,
nice.
and it's been the latest for well, like 5 months or 6 months. So,
Oh, well, there you go. All right,
so
well,
he's
thank you so much,
still
and
making movies.
yep, and everybody else, go check that movie out on YouTube because if we had to watch it, you have to watch it too. So there you go. If you want to listen to this review and understand it fully, you have to watch that movie. But until then, everybody, hope you guys enjoyed this and join us next 2 weeks for the next month for a brand new episode. Until then, everybody, bye.
We'll see you. And David the Rock Nelson, don't you dare stop making movies.
Nope, nope, just keep going. Tricking that Java and making those movies.
Heck yeah.
All right.